Welcome to the GEP RoundUp, a monthly lowdown of the latest and greatest from GEP and the world of supply chain. Every month, we bring you highlights of the top stories, insights, and events from the supply chain space so you can stay up to date on everything you need to know. From the latest innovations and technologies to the biggest challenges and opportunities facing the industry, we've got it covered.
Hello, and welcome to the GEP RoundUp, a monthly lowdown of the latest and greatest from GEP and the world of supply chain. I'm your host, Alex. The GEP Global Supply Chain Volatility Index suggests that manufacturing growth is building up pressure on supply chains. As manufacturing activities continue to increase in June, global supply chains become busier and suppliers reported capacity pressures. This momentum in manufacturing can result in increased costs and price pressures for global companies, with shipping and container rates rising steadily. This could mean that now is the right time to lock in prices with suppliers for 2025. To expand its regional presence in Europe and further its mission to apply AI and low-code solutions to procurement, GEP has acquired Opus Capita, a leading provider of e-invoicing and procurement solutions based in Helsinki, Finland. This acquisition combines GEP's industry-leading procurement and supply chain software with the foremost e-invoicing and accounts payable automation solutions and expands GEP's global operations across the Nordic countries. Of the acquisition, Santosh Nair, Chief Product Officer at GEP, said, "We're excited about our shared future and to introduce Opus Capita customers to our solutions, which help the world's best companies create greater value from their spend." Now onto resources you can take advantage of now. A recent survey found that 87% of procurement and supply chain leaders plan to implement AI-powered tools within the next 2 years. To succeed in this endeavor, they must avoid two big pitfalls: legacy software and archaic data management tools. In this podcast, Two Big AI Pitfalls Every Procurement and Supply Chain Leader Must Avoid, GEP experts Michael Clear and Raj Agarwal explain how modern software platforms and data management tools can help you drive successful AI-powered transformations. To comply with the European Union's Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, companies will soon have to pay a levy for importing carbon-intensive goods. What's worrying them even more is the mandate to accurately report carbon emissions across their supply chain. Our new guide for procurement and supply chain leaders explores the challenges of collating carbon data and recommends a 3-step approach to meeting regulatory requirements. Does marketing account for a significant portion of your total spend, but doesn't always deliver the expected ROI? To hold consumers' attention, your business must have the right tools and strategies to cut through the noise and deliver unified, data-driven marketing. Join procurement experts from GEP in a new insightful podcast, Strategies for Optimizing Your Marketing Spend, where they discuss the emerging trends in marketing and innovative strategies your businesses can use to drive engagement and maximize ROI. Are you looking to close an M&A deal? Do you have a plan to restructure your supply chain during integration? Our latest bulletin, 6 Ways to Drive M&A Synergies Through Your Supply Chain, discusses the short and long-term benefits of involving your supply chain and procurement functions in the deal process right from the beginning. It also discusses how supply chain restructuring and transformation during integration can accelerate synergies and growth. Effective supplier relationship management requires procurement to work closely with key suppliers and leverage digital tools and analytics. A new GEP blog, How AI-Powered Supplier Relationship Management Can Unlock the Hidden Value of Procurement, looks at why the best performing procurement teams in recent times have been those that have built strong relationships with their suppliers. In customer news, read our latest case study to learn how GEP's strategic sourcing expertise helped a leading utility company mitigate supply risk and reduce costs. The company looked to ensure supply continuity for key components and optimize working capital as it expanded operations. This case study details how GEP helped the company achieve 5% savings and partner with its suppliers to secure slots for essential equipment. Today, we are joined by Abhinav Gupta to discuss AI-driven procurement transformation and performance improvement. Abhinav is a senior director in the consulting practice at GEP. He has over 20 years of experience in maintenance operations and procurement and supply chain consulting. He leads large-scale procurement transformation and strategic cost reduction engagements for our clients. Abhinav has led digital process transformation and change management projects for clients in a wide variety of sectors and across all major geographies, helping achieve significant improvement in business outcomes. So welcome today, Abhinav. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Alex, for having me.
Yeah. So let's get into this conversation. You have done a lot of procurement transformation programs over the years. What role do you see for digital and AI in these transformations as you move forward?
Yes, thanks, Alex, for having me on this platform. You're right. I have done a lot of procurement transformation programs over the years for clients, large and small, global and regional, low maturity to higher maturity, companies which are startups and other companies which are very established firms, have been in business for 100, 150 years. So yes, I've done these programs in a variety of environments. What happens with these transformations is that they help in bringing a step change in procurement performance in a short period of time. And typically these transformations involve all of people, process, and tech elements. Digitalization is an important element. We have seen many organizations whose processes to start with were largely manual, meaning not digitally enabled. And those processes were non-standard, inefficient processes. And the tech landscape was also very fragmented. So traditionally, this push for improved process and tech maturity meant, process design to move to standard and best practice processes and tech enablement of these processes through the implementation of unified end-to-end procurement software like GEP Smart and other software platforms, and through the use of traditional automation solutions, rule-based chatbots, and a limited use of traditional AI. So this has been the sort of the traditional approach to bringing about that tech enablement and process improvement. But now moving forward with the emergence of GenAI over the last few years, there is a whole new world of opportunities which has opened up. And, GenAI is a game changer in that sense, and it has transformative applications. And therefore, we will see a strong push in companies, particularly those companies that have already gone through basic tech enablement for incorporating GenAI applications in their procurement activities. So going forward, I do see a strong element of GenAI implementation being considered in these transformation efforts.
And now that you brought up GenAI, what is the difference between GenAI and traditional AI?
Yeah, that's a good question. So GenAI has far more capability than traditional AI for a few reasons, and I will share some of those reasons here. So one, GenAI uses large language models, LLMs, which enable natural language conversational delivery of AI. Secondly, the GenAI models are trained on internet scale of data. So it's very, very large data sets on which GenAI is trained, and therefore the outputs are radically more impactful than traditional AI. Also, GenAI works with both structured and unstructured data, which is also a huge improvement. Another very important point is GenAI can generate new content outside of the data it has analyzed or the model data on which it has been trained. So again, that's a very distinctive characteristic that it can generate new content. And another piece which is worthwhile to mention is it also evolves over a period of time. The GenAI intelligence evolves because it keeps learning from the content it itself generates. So these are some distinctive features in GenAI, and which is why the impact is very high with GenAI.
Okay, so as you've just mentioned, GenAI will have a significant impact on procurement. And what is the nature of that impact?
Right. So it is having a significant impact, and that impact we expect for it to continue proliferating in the future as well. Now, if we compare with traditional AI and traditional automation solutions, the use cases from those have been mostly around automating transactional activities, which fall primarily in the procure to pay or the P2P side. Now, with GenAI, on the other hand, it is enabling use cases in a lot more judgment-based tasks, which are far more prevalent on the source to contract or S2C side. And with these use cases, it is bringing in augmentation to the strategic capabilities of procurement teams. So in a way, it is acting as a force multiplier to the capabilities of the procurement teams, particularly the strategic skill set of procurement teams, which was not the case previously with traditional AI. So that's a significant step forward. But having said that, it doesn't mean that GenAI only has applications on the S2C side, the judgment-based tasks. Even for the P2P side, GenAI has use cases which are significantly enhancing the existing automation capabilities of traditional AI and RPAs, etc. So effectively, GenAI has applications across the entire S2P value chain.
Okay, and along that same line of thinking, what are some of the applications of GenAI?
Yeah, I think everyone is curious to know more about what are these use cases which are being so talked about, particularly on the strategic judgment-based side. So I'll share a few of those. So from my perspective, the GenAI applications can be broadly classified into 4 key types. And these 4 key types are: 1, decision-making support; 2, insight generation; 3, document creation; and 4, intelligent virtual assistants. Pretty much the entire long list of use cases, which is only becoming larger and larger, can be segmented in these 4 buckets. Now, to share some examples, right, GenAI can help with recommending category management strategies. It can help with recommending negotiation strategies. It can help with supplier identification for sourcing events by picking up information from a variety of sources, both internal to the organization and external market sources. It can provide very good lists of suppliers for including in sourcing events. It can help with policy update recommendations in terms of adjusting your thresholds for procurement involvement, for example. It can help with developing customized RFP packages based on specific requirements. It can generate supplier scorecards for supplier performance reviews. So these are just to give a flavor, some use cases. And most of these that I just highlighted lie on the S2C side, which traditionally there was not much impact on these things from traditional AI. So yeah, these are some use cases, but let me actually elaborate with a couple more use cases in more detail to bring it to even more to life, right? So let me do that. So let me talk about one example on risk management, through automated supplier risk alerts. GenAI can help with that. Now, if we talk about risk management, we know that supply continuity has been brought into front and center focus through the pandemic experience, right? And there is a huge focus on supplier risk management in order to ensure there is no business disruption. That's a top of mind thing, particularly now after the pandemic. Now, Gen AI can help in assessing risks and in mitigating these risks. What it can do is that it can proactively highlight risks associated with market fluctuations, natural disasters, suppliers' own stability and performance, and even geopolitical risks. And how does it do that? It does it by It does that by continuously monitoring news feeds, and it extracts information on any major event which is happening out there, right? And then it classifies the news based on risk impact it could have on the supply of specific goods or services. And then based on the location or commodity or supplier impacted, it would extract the order details placed with the relevant supplier or suppliers, those orders that could be impacted by the event, and alert the procurement professional through a notification. So what this does is that it allows the procurement professional to react very quickly and take corrective action. And this is a great example of proactively spotting risks and taking action before something really goes wrong or a delay or disruption happens, right? And this is because of the GenAI capability of ingesting so much data from a large number of sources and then making sense out of it and highlighting those risks. GenAI can actually go one step forward where it can also generate a draft email to be sent out to suppliers, where it would list all the orders which might be at risk because of that event. And then it can trigger that email to the relevant supplier or suppliers, asking them to confirm the delivery timelines for those orders or that order. So pretty automated. So that's one elaborate example I wanted to share. I'm sure a lot of people will be able to relate to that and they will find it interesting. Another couple of examples I'll quickly share before I hand it over back to you, Alex. Again, in the interest of making it real and bringing it to life. So one is autonomous tactical sourcing. So now there are GenAI applications which enable the entire tactical sourcing process to be automated end to end. When I say tactical sourcing, it's two bid and buy or three bid and buy, and almost all of the activities in these processes can be done automatically through GenAI with almost no manual intervention. So that's also a very interesting use case to sort of release people who are working on these spot buys, which are high volume, low value, low complexity purchases. That's one example on the sourcing side. Another one on the sourcing is for strategic sourcing. And there are GenAI assistants which can act as co-pilots for strategic sourcing activities, wherein the category manager or buyer would need to work on the strategic sourcing, at least as of now. That is the nature of the applications. But the GenAI can provide insights and recommendations at every stage of the process to the buyer who is leading that strategic sourcing activity. So by doing that, it significantly reduces the time taken, and also it improves the effectiveness of the outcomes of these strategic sourcing processes. So yeah, some examples to help bring it to life. I would say that for any organization, again, who has gone through basic tech enablement, they should be very actively looking to implement GenAI solutions in their procurement processes.
That does sound like very exciting and transformative technology for the procurement space, definitely. How do you see procurement operating models evolving in the mid to long term, given these Gen AI capabilities?
Yeah, that's another good question, Alex. We do expect changes and evolution in the procurement operating models in the mid to long run. And some elements of that we foresee would be, I would say, one, augmentation of category management capabilities. As I said earlier, these use cases will act as force multipliers for the strategic skill sets of procurement teams. And it will really improve the overall results of procurement. What it will also do is that by acting as force multipliers, it will allow for those strategic procurement professionals to focus their bandwidth or time even more on even more value add and strategic activities. So overall, the results of procurement will be enhanced. That is one. Secondly, we also do expect a lot of tactical activities to get largely eliminated in the mid to long run, because a lot of automation will happen and a lot of these tactical activities will be possible to do with AI assistance. So we do foresee at some point a lot of these tactical activities to be eliminated. And thirdly, I would say there will also be an expansion of self-serve capabilities, wherein end users will be able to complete a lot of the activities, particularly the tactical ones, on their own using these intelligent virtual assistants, right, without any manual intervention needed from procurement team. So in a way, we expect a democratization of the procurement process, wherein the stakeholders or business teams do not need to depend on procurement team for some of these activities, and they will be able to do it on their own. So yeah, these are some of the changes that we do foresee in the procurement operating models.
And those are pretty massive changes. That's really exciting. So what are your suggestions on how to incorporate GenAI capabilities in process transformation?
Yeah, I think that's a question everyone is curious about once they come to know about the transformative impact of GenAI. That's a natural question that is in people's minds. So let me throw some light on that in terms of how one can get started on the implementation journey of GenAI. I'll say a few things on that. So one, data. High quality data is essential for the quality of AI output. So it is recommended to invest in improving data quality and aggregating data from across systems and putting in place data governance practices such that they allow for ongoing availability of high quality data. So that's on the data. On the people side, new roles for data engineering, analytics, and AI operations will be required. So those roles will need to be filled. Also, procurement teams will also need significant training on the use of these newly deployed AI solutions. So that's on the people side. On the technology, of course, you do need the right tech solutions to be deployed, which have the right AI capabilities. Now, leading tech providers like us at GEP and many other tech providers are actively building GenAI capabilities in their tech solutions, as well as developing custom AI solutions that integrate well with the core solutions. So that's on the tech side. It's very important to select the right technology for implementation in your environment. In terms of implementation planning, my advice would be to start small. You can evaluate the use cases that may be applicable in your environment and prioritize some of those use cases based on their impact and ease of adoption, and make a minimum set out of that prioritization and start with implementing that minimum set. And once you do that, that's a good start, and then you can build from there. Lastly, on this, I would say, and very importantly as well, change management. It's very important to use the right change management approach to ensure you educate as well as motivate your procurement and other teams for the adoption of this AI technology. So that change management is very important, such that these solutions are adopted in your organization. So let me pause there. I think the overall point is that this is a fast evolving technology, and particularly those companies which have gone through a round of basic tech enablement should be very closely looking at GenAI implementation to stay ahead of the curve.
Very well said. Thank you so much for joining us today and for giving us your input on how AI and GenAI specifically will be impacting procurement and supply chain.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks for having me.
Thank you all for tuning into the show, and please come back for the next episode. If you found it useful, don't forget to like, comment, share, and follow our YouTube channel for more supply chain content. Until next time.